All right, welcome to lesson 3 with Graphic 45. We are doing our Times to Flourish tag series, and we're doing March. This one is one of my favorites. We're going to be teaching you how to create a little hinge technique with our metal keys. And so you can see that that was holding that little flap into place, and then you pull this out and you get this adorable little accordion. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to dive into the cut apart page, and there are a few components that we're going to be cutting out. The first one is we're going to just be cutting out part of the corner of the bottom left. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to cut 2.5 inches over on the bottom and then 3 inches up. And so then we're going to just have the bottom part of the bird's body, and then it's going to go down and include the whole plant. So you want to cut that piece out, and again, that's 3 by 2.5. Then from there, we're going to want to cut out these 3 pieces, but you want to make sure to keep them together because they're never going to be separated because we're going to be creating a little accordion album with them. So you just want to cut out these 3 pieces, all solid as one. Once you've cut out those 3 pieces, you're going to want to cut down here. You're going to want to get these 2, but you can cut it all as one at first, and you're going to just cut along the border and do 3 7/8. So those are the front pieces that we're going to be using for part of our tag for March. Once you've cut out those pieces, we're going to reverse it, and we're going to cut out because we need some of this purple. So with the purple, you can select based on where you want, and you want to cut out a 3.5 by 4 piece. So just up in one of the corners or wherever placed, just you want to cut out a 3.5 by 4 piece, and we're going to be using the purple side exposed. Also, you're going to want to just cut out a little one that's only 1/4 of an inch by 2.5 inches. So just find a place where you can cut out a little piece where it's 1/4 of an inch by 2.5 inches. So we have those pieces cut. So that's everything we're going to use from the cut apart page. Everything else is free game for so many more projects. Then you want to pull out the Flourish page for March. All the fun sentiments on the back: lucky, shamrock, good luck, St. Patrick's Day, just tons of fun elements to use. So we're going to be using one of the green side face up, and what we need is a 3 7/8 and 3.5. So just pick one of the corners, cut out 3 7/8 and 3.5, and then put that aside, and we're going to be using that in a moment. So just do a 2.5 by 2.5 square where you pretty much encompass most of the bird, a little bit of the tail isn't there, and then the nest, and then we've got that piece. So once you have all of those pieces, crafting folks, we are ready to start assembling and creating our wonderful March tag. So first things first, we're going to start just gluing down the base layers. So with that said, we want to grab our green piece with the text on it. That's going to set that aside because we first want to glue down the part of the border that has the verbiage down there. And so you're going to want to put your adhesive on the back side of that and just glue that down with about 1/8 of an inch on the bottom with the ivory still showing. So you put that down there. From there, you're going to put your green piece down. So that pretty much will go up to the edges. And if it does hang off a bit, just trim it and you're good. And then our little purple border. I mean, it just has such a nice kind of finished touch. All right, so with your ivory ATC card, you're going to want to flip that over and not do this on the pretty grommet side. So we're going to do this on the reverse. And so then you're going to flip over where we had scored it. And so because we want the purple to be exposed. And so you want your flap where it's scored to be on the right side. So you want to put your adhesive on that And you can use any kind of adhesive, whatever you typically prefer. Doesn't matter with these paper steps. That's totally up to you. Just get that down. So then we've created this little flap that's going to be able to connect us to the rest of our accordion album. But before we do that, we're going to do the cover. And from the Flourish page, we cut out that little bird with the nest. And so that is going to be placed up just as high as we can go at the top of the grommet. And then below that is that little piece we cut with the purple exposed. That's going to go around the bottom. And then you can just adhere those down and then round the edges so it matches up with the original form of the tag. So let's do that. Normally, I would probably, with this project, want to use like a roller or something, but just for time's sake, it's kind of easier to use the liquid, but it honestly, with these tags, they really absorb the liquid glue really well, and so they don't bubble like a lot of those thinner type of papers. And especially since our papers, design papers, are so thick in the first place too, plus the tags, the liquid glue is really not a bad option. And so then you just round those front corners, any excess you may have. All right, so now let's attach so we had these pieces that I had you cut out. So you're gonna want to take the St. Patrick's Day and fold it to its right, and then fold that over, and then the may your thoughts be as glad as shamrocks, may your hearts, that little poem, fold that in like that. So we have this little accordion book. Then we're gonna take some adhesive and we're gonna place it just right here on the tab part of that purple of that ATC we were just working on. Put a little adhesive there, just on that little flat part. Then you're gonna take the first part of the St. Patrick's Day greeting and just glue that down. Hold it. I'll tell you, nice. And then it just kind of folds in like so. So then we have, this is one of our shabby chic brads that comes in a pack of 12. And they also come in brass. You're going to want to put that just through that hole, and it fits perfectly. So from there, we're going to attach it to the front of our tag. So we want it to be on the green and about 1/8 of an inch over from the left. So just on the back side of this purple, put your adhesive. So, all right, so I'm gonna scoop that. That's also one thing I like about the liquid adhesive. It gives you a little bit of flexibility if you put it down and it's not exactly where you wanted it to be placed. You can move it a little bit and manipulate it. So there we go. And then you have your fun little accordion album. So how fun is that to open it up and, add photos and different journaling thoughts and, memories or an anniversary or something. All right, so we're gonna finish with adding some of our metal detail. And we really wanted to highlight our metal staples with this tag because we have so many different fun things that we can work with our, everywhere from our wonderful shabby chic ornate metal keyholes, and these also do come in the brass, and the keys like I showed you before that we're going to be working with and creating the hinge. So with a paper piercer or a fine point scissors, you're going to want to we're gonna make a hole, but we first need to take our key and we're gonna place it on there, kind of position it where we need to also position our keyhole, because the keyhole is just being used here for more of a decorative kind of purpose to add just that nice layer of texture and depth. You need a nice kind of glue, metal glue. All of the kind of glossy accents and those type of glues work phenomenally for that purpose, as well as, you know, there are other wonderful things they do. So that's an easy thing, or there's other, you know, kind of metal glues out there too that work great too. So since we want to position it about there, I'm going to take my scissors and mark it. And if you have a paper piercer, I would recommend using that. But, you know, if you just do it kind of gently, and only if your scissors are, you don't want to go too crazy. Okay, perfect. And the thing that's neat about this hinge technique is that not only can you do it with our keyholes like this, by putting it through the top keyhole like that, or I'm sorry, the top part of the key, that you can do it with our keyholes. And we're gonna secure that by, once we have that on there, because that's obviously not attractive. We don't want anyone to be receiving that. We're gonna put our purple backing on there, and just for a nice journaling photo mat area. So let's just put our adhesive on there. All right. And one additional thing is, like, if you're an inker, of course you can always come in and ink these edges. Take your time to personalize it, like however you like to do your crafting. And then one little thing that with the hole at the top, the reason why we're not putting any ribbons or anything in there is we have a binding ring in it at the end, and so then when you put the whole album together, it looks beautiful and complete. So there's your March session, and I hope you enjoyed it.